Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're in family court where a father is fighting to uphold a $200 a month co-parenting plan agreement and avoid retroactive child support, insisting he does his part while juggling his other kids, elderly parents, and wedding expenses. Meanwhile, the mother has been covering daycare and everything else solo, so she finally took him to court. It was clear when the numbers were run. Some budgets make sense, but his math isn't mathing. $200 barely covers a week of groceries, let alone a child's life. Let's see how the court balanced the books on this one.
Calls number 24 DFAM 346,572. This is in the 146 Judicial District Court of Bell County, Texas. This is in the interest of Squire minor child, non-custodial party being Xavier A. Squire, custodial party being listed as Monique A. Hammond. The court will know for the record is signed in under the last name McKenzie. Anyway, the court will know for the record the original petition in this matter was filed last year back in looks like May, and both parties have previously been noticed and served. The court did order DNA paternity analysis in this matter and reset this matter to today's date. So at this time, Mr. Diamond, I'll ask the state for an open and tell the court what the state's requesting we do here today, what the state understands agreements and contests to be at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. State's requesting a final order. We'll have some DNA. The good part, my understanding, Your Honor, the parties are in agreement to joint managing conservatorship, standard possession order. They're in agreement that Miss McKenzie is active duty and has TRICARE and is not requesting cash dental. So they're in agreement that that would be the coverage. And I think that's where I believe the parties both agree that Mr. Squire's total resources, $8,363.38, $5,937.42 taxable, $2,425.96 untaxable. I realize I said that pretty fast and can repeat if the court would like. Mr. Squire has two other children that live with him, so giving credit for the two, so 1 and 2 out. Guideline calculation, I have $1,168.
Yeah, 1,000.
What? Yeah, yes, Your Honor, $1,168.
Okay.
There's some change, we rounded down.
Okay.
And then as far as the retro goes, I believe there's a disagreement. I don't believe. I know there's a disagreement there as well. State has calculated guideline retro. It's going to be going back to July 2023. And the total number, Your Honor, $12,318. So requesting, well, I should say this, assuming the court doesn't give any credits, requesting repayment of $112. If the court gives credits, then this number would come down. That's going to be another one of the disagreements, Your Honor. So the two disagreements, Mr. Squire will testify, I believe, that there was an agreement that they had that he would contribute $200 a month. And I think he'll testify that some months he did extra purchasing diapers, formula, food, other necessities. I don't know what Ms. McKenzie's position is going to be, but I'll ask her. And then I believe that Mr. Squire is going to be requesting a downward deviation. I think he'll testify to his other children's needs. And I believe he cares for his parents as well, so he'll testify to those, and I think those will be the factors he asks the court to consider.
All right, then, folks, let's get some testimony, let's get some history, and let's find out what's going on here and what the court's going to do. And now here's a gut deal, guys. I'm bound by what the laws of the state of Texas says I have to do. Guideline child support, retroactive child support, retroactive child support. The amounts that should have been paid. What could have been paid or should have been paid is what the courts normally looks at, and I'll see what type of agreements y'all had. But based on the initial statement by the state, the agreement was what lawyers would call unconscionable. You can't buy a $1,200 Mercedes Benz for $200 a month. Okay, that's just the way the real world works. All right. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead but I'll hear some testimony. I'll hear what y'all want to try to do here, and I'll try to figure out what's best for the. I'm definitely going to figure out what's best for the child, and I'll try to figure out something that's going to be fair. But the law kind of locks me in on how I can do certain things. So anyway, at this time, I'm going to go ahead and ask both of you to raise your right hand. So let's get you sworn in, and we'll take it from there. Do you both solemnly swear or affirm your testimony going to give this court today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're both officially under oath. You can put your hands down. Here, okay, and I'm going to let the state call you both as individual witnesses. At the end of the hearing, if either of you want to tell the court something that didn't come out during your general testimony, you'll be allowed to do so because you're what we call pro se litigants. You're representing yourself. So long as it's relevant to what we're doing here, then you can testify to the court on those items, and we'll add that to the information that the court's going to consider. So at this time, I'll let the state call you both as witnesses, and you may proceed, Mr. Diamond. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Call Miss McKenzie. I believe we pled for this as her name was Hammond, but I believe she wants to be called McKenzie. So, ma'am, will you state your full name, please?
Monique Mackenzie.
All right, and is that your legal name going forward?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Begging your pardon, Your Honor, for the sake of the record, would you like me to refer to Miss McKenzie, Miss Hammond, or McKenzie?
Miss McKenzie, how did the name become? Ma'am, how did the name become McKenzie? You got married, or you changed your name legally?
I changed my name legally.
All right, through a court here in the state of Texas or somewhere else?
And in Texas, sir.
All right, which county?
Bell County.
All right, and when did you do that, ma'am?
I don't remember, to be honest.
So did you have attorney do that for you, or did you do it yourself?
No, I did it myself.
Okay.
Sir.
Your Honor, she was married, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, here's the deal, ma'am. I'll have you confirm that information with the state later on, but I'll go ahead and let the state refer to you as McKenzie. Thank you. You may
Thank
proceed.
you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. So, Miss McKenzie, what's the name of the child that we're here today on?
Samad Squire, sir.
Okay, and who is Samar's father?
Xavier Squire.
And I'm sorry, I said Samaj. And Your Honor, I would at this point offer what's been marked as States 1.
All right, folks, this is Stakes Exhibit number 1 that's been tendered to the court here in Belton. This is I'm sorry, not the financial activity report this time. This is the DNA parentage results from the DNA Diagnostic Center. Ms. McKenzie, is there any legal reason the court should not allow this in evidence at this time?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Squire, any objections, sir?
No, sir, I have no problem with it.
All right, States 1's admitted. States 1 shows that Mr. Xavier Squire cannot be excluded as the biological father of the child before this court. Probability of attorney is 11.6 billion to 1, and is 99.9999999, which is well within the guidelines of only set forth by the family code, which is 99.99. And I think we went back 5 extra nines after that, so we're good. Court will so find that he is the biological father. The state may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, let's talk about the possession and access, and conservatorship. So my understanding is you have no problem with Mr. Squire having a standard possession. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I appreciate that. And then and you're currently active duty military. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the money. You have TRICARE through the military?
Yes, sir.
All right. And did I correctly tell the court you're not requesting any type of reimbursement for that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll ask Mr. Squire about the guideline current support, but let's talk about the retroactive for a minute. When were you and Mr. Squire together when Samaj was born?
No, sir.
Okay. And do you have any objection to the state requesting retroactive support?
No, sir.
All right. So let's talk about the agreement. What was the agreement between you and Mr. Squire?
So at first when I had baby, I reached out to him, let him know that I just had baby, and whatnot. And he said he was not going to support the child. He was not going to support me or none of that. It was a couple months down the line. He said he reached out, I think, to my mom and said he would help to do whatever it is. He said, I was like, how much you have to give? He said he only could give $200. At the time, I had a WIC. I was getting like formula. So I was like, okay, I'm fine with that for now. That was the agreement. So he started giving me like $200, I think, October to November. And the baby was born in July. So after that, like I had one of my family member to come and help me like to support the child. And I told him like, hey, can you like give me some extra? And he said he didn't have it. So I didn't ask anymore. After that, my baby was going to a daycare on it
So
was
I'm
Tremere.
sorry. Can I jump in here real quick? We can talk about the daycare in a minute.
Uh-huh.
So you said first payment of 200. So $200 was the amount. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And the first payment you said came in either October or November of that would have been what 2023 was July.
2023, yes, sir.
Okay. And did Mr. Squire pay that regularly?
Every month besides 1 month last year. I think it was February.
Okay. So he would have made either 2 or 3 payments in 2023 and 11 payments in 2024.
Yes, sir.
Did he pay you anything January of this year?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're looking at either 14 or 15 payments of $200. Did I have that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And I cut you off. So yeah, it sounds like you were about to tell the court about the daycare. Why don't you go ahead and do that now?
Yes, sir. So, like I said, I had a family member that was helping me out with the baby, and I asked him like to give extra so I could help out with so it could help out with the baby. He said he didn't have it, so I started sending my baby to this daycare on Tremere, and I was paying $375 every 2 weeks, and he did not help with anything. He do send diapers. And I recall him sending like one case of cereal, if I'm
Okay,
not
here's the deal,
mistaken.
man. Here's the deal. The court doesn't look at that. I can buy diapers at Costco. I can buy diapers at 7-Eleven. The price is way too different. So I look at cash money because I can give cash an absolute value. So I don't get into the diaper and the Pampers and the wipes things because believe me, everybody wants credit for that, and that's just a gift to the child to take care of your child. So only thing I need to know about is cash. Thank you.
Okay, so that's all he did, really, the $200 a month. And I remember this one other time he had sent me $20 to buy something for the child. That's all.
All right. So did he ever like pay a light bill, pay a rent check or a mortgage check, put gas in
No,
your
sir.
tank? Okay. All right. Then I guess what I would have proposed to do. So if he paid approximately $200 15 times, that would be $3,000. And then you said there was another time he gave you $20. So
Yes,
I would
sir.
propose to give him a credit of $3,020 against the 12,318 that I'm requesting. And I'm going to put it in the calculator just because I don't trust myself. So I would propose to take that $12,318 retroactive support judgment down to $9,298. Is that number acceptable to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I appreciate you giving him credit for where it's due. And then the interest alone on that would be $46 and some change. So I would call it $47. So my request, and unless you give me a reason otherwise, would be that Mr. Squire be ordered to repay $97 a month if the court grants my request. Is that number acceptable to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I imagine here in a few minutes, Mr. Squire is going to tell the court about his situation, but do you happen to know what Mr. Squire does for a living?
Mm, no, sir.
Okay. Is he former military?
I know he was. I don't know if he's still in or not, sir.
Okay. Okay, I appreciate it. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, man, I'll be back in just a moment. I'm gonna let the state call you the next witness. Thank you.
Thank you, Your
Okay.
Honor. I'll call Mr. Squire. Mr. Squire, let's talk about that first of all. Are you active military? You former military?
I'm National Guard right now, but yes, I'm former military, sir.
Okay. So I have you getting $2,425.96 in tax-free income. Is that like VA benefits, or what's the source there?
Yeah, that was VA. I started getting that in like December of last year. I was at 50%, so I was getting like 1,000 something, 1,200 since May of 2023 when I got out.
Okay. Well, so and are you getting military retirement as well, or is it just
No,
VA benefits?
just VA.
Okay, so I guess my question is that $2,425.96 number, are you saying that that's wrong?
No, so I started getting that so with the VA, right? You could file and then you could refile if your injuries are more
I
severe.
was going to ask, sir, what's your current VA disability percentage?
Yeah, 90%. So
And when did it get to 90%?
November, the end of
Last
November
year,
last year.
November 2024?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And one last question. Did it jump from 50 up to 90, or was there something in between?
There was something in between. I had to
What was the in
refile.
between? What was the in between percentage?
Oh no, there's not an in between person. I thought you meant if something happened while
Well, I
I
know, there's,
yeah.
I got it. I just want to make sure you didn't get 50 to 70 and then up to 90.
No, no,
Okay.
no, no. It
All right.
just jumped to
All right. So it just did. Thank you. You
And
may
and,
proceed,
and
Mr. Diamond.
thank you, Your Honor. And I'm sorry, Mr. Squire, can you tell me again what you were getting when you were at 50%?
it was 1,200 and something because I was married before, but then I got divorced and I just had one child on my thing, so it was just me plus a dependent. So they give you like $200 for a dependent, which is one of my daughter.
Yes, sir. All right. So I'm going to need to recalculate your retroactive support. So let's talk about your current income. I have you getting $5,937.42 a month. What's the source of that income?
So I work at Acme Brick as a supervisor.
I'm sorry, say the name of your company again.
Acme ACME,
Yes, sir.
and I get like, is it before tax or after tax?
Before?
Before tax, so I get 1,400 a week.
Yes, sir. And how long have you been at Acme Brick?
Since I got out of the army, so no, well, no. Since June of last year. No, since June of 2023. Since
Yes,
June of
sir.
2023, I mean, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're good. Okay, so I'm gonna need to recalculate your retroactive, but while I've got you on the stand, let's talk about the guideline support. So did I tell the court correctly that you don't agree with the guideline calculation? I'm sorry, I
No.
think you agree with the calculation. You believe that amount is not equitable. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and can you tell the court why?
So I get I guess they calculated my National Guard and VA. That's one, like I have to pay back the National Guard the money that I give because you can't get both benefits at the same time, which is you can't get paid from the National Guard and the VA
All right. I'll ask
because it's
the state real quick. Mr. Diamond, did you include his National Guard pay in the calculations?
I don't think we did, Your Honor. The 5,937 gross. I think that
maybe
tracks with
I don't
1,400
know.
a week. Um, and I did at a 90% disability rating, 24 and change sounds about right.
Okay.
Um,
Well, she was telling me, the lady before was telling me that yeah, they're gonna add into it or whatever. But if it's not included,
I'll
then
say
you can just
confirm that, but I'll let you go ahead and proceed. Thank you.
okay.
Okay, so
So
go ahead, sir.
yeah. So yeah, I make 1,000 a week after everything. So it's like, they were calculating that I should pay 1,300 every week or every month, I mean. So I was like, it's pretty much not feasible because how am I gonna support 2 kids plus my parents, and I mean I don't have a problem paying child support. That's not the problem here. I have a problem giving him money or whatever. I never had a problem with that. So it's just not feasible for me to give 1,300 if it's less or whatever. I'll gladly give that. But
Okay, so let's go back to the National Guard thing. So again, the $2,425.96 that I have does that sound like just your VA money, or does that sound like your VA plus the?
you said 2,400 and what?
I have you getting $2,425.96 of tax-free income.
From the VA?
Well, so that's just it. I have a note that's saying that's how much tax-free income you have.
It's VA disability, Mr. Diamond.
Okay.
At 90%, that's it.
I thought so, Your Honor. So what do you actually get from the National Guard besides credit towards, like, retirement?
That's it. That's all you would get. I'll have to give up one of the payments. So it's either I give up the VA or I give up the National Guard. You can't get both.
Right. So you earn credits towards retirement rather than actually drawing pay. Is that right?
Yeah. So I have to do it every year. So it's basically they send you whenever it's like a tax of a year. So I'll have to fill out the form, bring it in, and then they'll have to do it on my end.
Okay.
So like now it's tax season. Now I have to do it. I can't do it like in the middle of the year.
I understand. So I mean, frankly, I think legally I have the right to assess a credit against I mean, you may not be getting cash from them, but you're getting retirement benefits. So basically, the numbers I've calculated don't take into account the value of the retirement benefits, because it'd be like if I get a job, right, and part of my compensation package is, instead of paying me directly, they pay it into my retirement fund or my disability fund or something like that. I'm still getting a benefit. So I guess what I would ask you is, and you may not agree with this, but I would submit to you that the calculation I've done is technically already giving you a downward deviation, because I've not taken into account the credits towards your retirement that your National Guard service is earning you. So I guess what
You
I'd
get
ask you is,
you get points towards retirement.
well, I
No.
understand, but there's a cash value, there's a value to it, there's a
Okay.
future.
Yeah,
Well,
I
and
don't I don't know how it is. Sir,
okay,
to be honest, I'm not from America, so it's like everything that happened, I try to figure it out like while I go. If you
I understand, and I'm not from finance, so I'm in the same boat as you.
okay.
I guess what I'm asking is, the court could make me dig into your National Guard numbers, which
We're
I'd rather
not.
not do. I'd rather just call it a
No,
day. Would you?
Yeah, I mean I was
we're
just
not going to go. We're not going to the value added and everything else. Yeah, that
yeah,
the
I don't
judge
really
is a
I don't
finance
really
guy, and
understand
no,
it to be honest.
it's way too complicated. Believe me, we don't want to go down that path. So
I
yes,
thank you, Your Honor. I think we tried doing this a couple of years ago, and I
yeah,
I don't think we were real successful at it.
yeah. So
Um, okay, so I'm going to move on. So I told the court what I think you're going to testify to, but was $200, was that the agreement that you had with Miss McKenzie as far as what you were going to pay before we got in front of the court?
Yes, sir. So she actually typed, she's not telling you guys everything.
Okay.
It's a paper that she typed up, and we signed and made an agreement to, you know. And before the baby was born, also, I did reach out to her about. So the thing is, right, Miss McKen, she was married before. You get what I'm saying? So she was in a marriage when where whatever happened between us. You get
I
what I'm
understand that that's between her and her ex-husband. I mean, this
Yeah.
is
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But you're understanding where I'm coming from. Like if now I see that, hey, the baby's mine or whatever, or
Okay, all right,
then
that's
I
okay.
will.
Here's the problem, sir. Here's the thing, Mr. Squire. I know you're not a lawyer, you're not a finance guy like I am.
Okay.
Bottom line is, under Texas law, this is straight and simple. If you have sexual intercourse with
Yeah, I
someone,
have no problem with that.
you,
That's
you
not
you
what
should
I'm saying.
realize a child could be born, and under the laws of the state of
Yep.
Texas, the state, no matter what the circumstances are, they're married to somebody else, you're married to somebody else, the state has the absolute right to go back a minimum of 48 months to ask for state retroactive child support. In fact, it's not only the state. If with Mr. Diamond was a private attorney and I was a private attorney and I was representing her and you were representing him, he was representing you, I would still be asking for the back child support that's based on Texas
Okay.
law.
Okay. Okay.
All right, thank you. Yeah. All right, you may proceed, Mr. Diamond.
All right. So the question I'd have, Mr. Squire, I have you paying $200 a month 15 times plus an additional $20. Are there any other cash payments to Miss McKenzie, Zelle, Apple Pay, putting
No, that's
gas in
all I
her
usually
tank,
give her.
paying a light bill, paying a rent or a mortgage check, anything like that that needs to be considered?
No, sir, we weren't together. I wouldn't have paid her mortgage or anything like that.
I understand. I'll pass a witness, Your Honor.
All right, then. Sir, how many, okay, are you currently married?
Sir, actually, I'm getting married today. That's the crazy thing. I'm about to be married again today.
All right, then, but you
I was previously married before. Yes, sir.
and when did you get a divorce?
Uh, I can't remember the exact, sometime last year.
All right, and right now you have two other children, correct?
Yes, sir.
And those children live with you, or are they with
One
your?
live with me, one live with her mom.
All right, so the one that lives with you is that the a child of the person you're marrying today,
Yes, sir.
and the other one lives with another person that you're not married to any longer,
No.
correct?
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right then. All right then, Sarah. I'll let you tell the court again to take state the calculations always take into consideration how many other children you have, whether they're with you or not. So to give you credit for that, that's the percentage.
Okay.
So, but you did mention something about having to support parents or something else, or is it, who else
Yeah,
do you support
I
besides
suppose.
your children, sir?
You say what, sir?
Who else do you support besides your children?
My two parents, sir.
All right, and where do they live?
They live with me, sir.
Okay,
Your Honor.
and y'all still live in Austin?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right then. And do either of your parents work?
No, Your Honor.
And how old are they, please?
So my dad is about to be what, 76? Tomorrow's his birthday. So 76.
And
And
your
my
brother is how
mom
old?
is 60 some I can't remember her the
And
exact.
sir, since they're Social Security age, do they get Social Security?
No, sir. So they actually live in Jamaica. They don't get any, they get retirement, which is less than $200 a month. So it's like they get in Jamaica, they get like $15,000 each a month, which in here it's not even $200. It's like $100 a month. That's it.
I'm sorry, they get 15,000 what?
Jamaican.
Oh, okay.
And
That,
it's 150 US dollar to a Jamaican to Jamaica. So it's like they don't get anything.
and they get that from from the country of Jamaica for their retirement.
Yeah, for their retirement.
And that's okay. All right, thank you. Any other questions of the witness, Mr. Diamond?
No, Your Honor. Uh,
All right, let's go. I'll go ahead and listen to closing statements at this time, or I'm sorry, I'll ask the state to make a closing statement, and then I'll let the parties make a closing statement. I know what the math is on all this, and I'll let the state make their closing, and then I'll go to Mr. Squire, and then to and I'm sorry, I keep wanting to call you Hammond, Miss McKenzie. Thank you.
So, Your Honor, I'm in the process of well, anyway, this requesting a final order, requesting the guideline support. I believe we have it right. I thank you to the court for not making me try to dig into the National Guard thing. So $1,168 and requesting that begin March the 1st. And then, Your Honor, I'm looking at the calcs on the retro, and I think frankly the way that the retro was calculated, it would have. I'm questioning the math on this because I have, so 1,168 would be the correct amount for the last 4 months. But then the amount drops down to $972. And that's because we're reducing the VA by, almost a half, actually a little
Right.
more than a half. So 972 would be the guideline amount for the other months, but 972 by 16 is like 15,000 something. So 15,000 something plus 4,000 something. I'm looking at almost like $20,000. But I don't, 12,318 was the number that my child support officer told these parties. So I'd rather stick with that. But I think, probably it should have been 20,000 minus some credits. And I think, frankly, that 12,318 number is probably generous to Mr. Squire. So I'd rather stick with that. If the court wants a more of a breakdown, I can do that. But I'm trying to not get bogged down. Unless, again, I'm happy to give those numbers if the court would like them.
Okay, well, I'm going to probably have you do that in writing and get that to me, sir, because I'm looking, and I was getting ready to look at doing it myself, and all of a sudden now I'm not even sure we were close before. So again, I want to sit down and do the math myself, looks like. But anyway, I'll go ahead and let you finish up your statement.
Actually, I can, Your Honor, I can give the court that now if I may.
All right, let's go ahead. Let me get the pen. All right.
Yes, sir.
Shoot.
May I share my screen, Your Honor?
Yes, you may.
And I'm working off of a Word document, unfortunately, but so, Your Honor, I have the retro period would have been July 23 until today, and so I have 4 months at the current amount, which is the 1,168. And the reason that number is the same as the current is because there's not any medical or dental. I think Ms. McKenzie is probably giving them a break of $20 or something like that. I'm not going after the dental, but anyway, that's her choice. So 1,160, and I'm sorry, Your Honor, these numbers too small. I can enlarge the screen if that would be helpful. But 4,672 is what I would have for, like I said, November 2024 until the present. And then 972 is my calculation for the guideline calculation for the period back when he was just 50% disabled. I mean, he was probably more disabled than that, but back before they recognized fully his disability. So I have 16 periods at $972, 15,552. And the total there, I say the subtotal, $20,224. But then Mr. Squire deserves a credit of $3,020. So after giving him the credit, 17,204 is what I would have calculated with retro. But again, I'm not going to argue if the court wants to use the original number that I pitched, because that's the number that we've been pitching to the parties this whole time, my agency and myself. And so I could see why that'd be an unfair surprise to especially Mr. Squire. But if the court were to use the 17,000 number, and I know the court might be able to do all this in the court's head, so I'm sorry if I'm insulting.
Not this point.
So 86 would be the interest. And as the court knows, my marching orders are to request the 50 plus the interest. So 136 would be the requested repayment. But again, I'm not going to argue with the court if the court wants to use that 12,000 number that I had originally.
All right.
And that's all I have, Your Honor. So I'll stop sharing unless the court.
That'll be fine. So at this time, Mr. Squire, anything else you want to tell the court at this point, sir?
Go inside. Go inside. You said what, sir?
Is there anything else you wish to tell the court at this time as a closing statement, sir?
Just yeah, I mean I have no problem paying child support, sir. It's just the amount, as I said before, you know, I can't afford that. That's the only thing. Yeah. So
Okay. All right. Ms. McKenzie, anything else you want to tell the court, ma'am?
Yes, sir. It should have been more, to be honest, because you haven't been supporting, he hasn't been supporting the child financially, and all he does is cause damage and cause argument. So it should have been more, to be honest.
All right, then. I'm going to go ahead and, again, Mr. Diamond, you kind of threw me for a
Your
little.
Honor, she said, just to close, she said damage, but this is someone who has been reaching out to my family and causing havoc in my family for.
Okay, well, again, sir, I'm not taking testimony anymore. She just
Yeah, I know, but like she
and
should have said that.
but she just said at the end doesn't sway the court one way or the other. I'm not looking at your relationship.
I'm sorry, sir.
I'm looking at your financial circumstances, sir.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like I haven't brought anything that she has done to me in the court. So like,
okay, well, at this point, sir,
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Stop. Okay, thank you, sir. I'm asking you to stop. Because right now, what I'm going to have to do is, I didn't want to take this one under advisement. I thought I had it, but I don't now. So especially with the information about the, about your claim, sir, to ask the court to deviate and the circumstances with the parents, I would have figured your parents would be a lot younger, but obviously you have over the parents, so and I'm going to look at all those aspects of it. So, Mr. Diamond, what do you got set? Let's see, Monday is Comanche, not you guys. All right, so Mr. Diamond, I'm going to go ahead and take this one under advisement and reset it for ruling on our general docket this coming Tuesday. Let me see what I got. Is that this coming Tuesday? Okay.
Beg your pardon, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Is there any chance we could do a reset for ruling until Wednesday the 12th? I have two of the three hearings before you, and both of those dockets are going to be pretty crowded with attorney cases.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go ahead and move this special setting to 9:15 on Wednesday, and then I can rule on that one, and then we can roll into the to the 9:30 your 9:30 case, or is the 9:30 case yours?
The 9:30 case is Ms. Taylor, Your Honor, but I would certainly appreciate the court doing the 9:15, and I'll be there at 9:10 if the court still wants to do that.
Well, I was asking, is yours the 1:30?
Yes, Your Honor. I have 11:30 and I have 1:30.
Tell you what, I'm gonna move this one to 1:15. That way, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna move this for 1:15 and ruling. And folks, what that means is I'm gonna move this Zoom code to 1:15 on this coming Wednesday, the 12th, to make a ruling after I go back and look at the math on all this one last time. And I'm gonna make a ruling on this case at that time on this same Zoom code. You have the perfect right to zoom in on that at that time for the ruling. But by then I'll be able to redo the math, figure out whether or not I'm going to give any. Well, I'm not. There's no credits to give. There's only circumstances that I can rule on as far as what I'll do, and that's what I will do at that point. But I'll do it at 1:15 on this same Zoom code on the 12th of February. And like I said, you don't have to be there. The state can be there. So if y'all got to be at work or something along those lines and can't do anything, can't log in, then that's just for me. This is just where I don't lose track of this and able to make a ruling. But I'm getting ready to go. I have to take care of a couple other matters. In fact, I got to call it, see if I can reach a judge in Florida, and then I'll start working on this one. And like I said, try, and I'll have a ruling on that at that time on the 12th. So at this point, is there anything else, Mr. Diamond?
No, that's it, Your Honor. Thank you for honoring my request for Wednesday rather than Tuesday.
No problem. Ms. McKenzie, anything else, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Also, my mom, she has my baby, and I do support my mom as well. So,
Okay. Okay, no matter what, ma'am, you're looking at a substantial amount of child support going forward. I just gotta make up my mind how much I want it to be, and and then the math's the math. And if I want to make the changes, I will. If I don't, I'll keep it as is.
yes, sir.
All right,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Squire, here's the deal, sir. The math's the math.
Your Honor, I have
Out
no
of
problem.
10,000 people came to the court of Texas today with your income, their child support would be 1,100 and some change. Okay, that's just the law. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I have no problem.
Yeah.
The only thing I told her I would have given her, she just wanted the retroactive.
Okay. Well, again, sir, I'm not gonna let you. We're not getting into the personal
Mhm.
disagreements between you and the mom. I'm sitting here doing a financial calculation, and I'll make up my mind one way or the other. But again, y'all can appear at 115 to determine to see what I decided one way or the other as far as the current child support going forward, and as far as what the retroactive child support amount should be going forward, and the repayment. All right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You can't make it, Your Honor.
Everything else is final. I'm naming you both joint management conservatives. I'm giving the mom the right to decide domicile. That right's unrestricted because she's U.S. military, so it needs to be. I'll go ahead and grant the father the status possession order, and I'll rule on the support issues at 1:15 on the 12th. Thank you very much, folks, and thank you both for your service through the military. And we're off the record.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Numbers don't care about your feelings, and doing your best doesn't lower the guideline calculation. Trying to convince the court that $200 is adequate and not the recommended $1,168 per month was foolish. Who am I to tell anyone how to spend their money? But caring for your parents when you have 3 children to take care of makes no sense. When adults prioritize their parents over their own children, is that loyalty? Or is that just financial negligence dressed up as family values? Or is that even a guilt trip? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more gripping courtroom moments. Thank you for watching. And by the way, there was supposed to be a hearing today, but it wasn't streamed. But I'll keep an eye out on this couple, and if there's any further updates, I'll keep you in the loop. See you in the next one.